I say it was the worst day because I lost my hero, but the best day because that's what really solidified me as a man. Everything's a big deal because I just know how you can be here 1 minute and then go on the next. When my dad had to have heart surgery, he said, B, I'm going to be there for you. At 21, I didn't really know at that moment he meant spiritually versus physically. So that made me like understand everything's a big deal. There's the major preparation before the prize that you got to do and really focus on, where you should study as hard as you can. You should do your chores the best as you can. You should practice as hard as you can. So when the moment is there, presented to itself, you can prosper.
All right, everybody. Good hustle. Episode 32.
We've done a lot of these now. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting old, honestly.
We are getting old. It's actually pretty funny because I didn't know what to expect when we started, but I didn't know we'd hit 32 and we're only, what is it? End of August.
Yeah.
Right.
It happened
So
fast.
we only missed a couple weeks, mainly my fault for some medical reasons. So I apologize to the
Yeah, you
viewers.
did
'cause
that on purpose.
I did that. I actually just needed a break, to be honest with you. But yes, John Henry,
Zach Williamson.
what do we do?
And if you did not know, we are realtors here in Central Pennsylvania. So if you're looking to buy or sell or invest in property out here, please give us a call. John and I, we do this for a living. We'd love to help you.
So, yes, we do, and we do love to do it. That being said, today we have a really great guest. Now, he's been in this studio before.
Yes.
He's been on another show with people that were actually on our show.
Nice.
Yeah. It's like showception over here.
Yeah, it is. It is. But he's used to speaking in front of large crowds as well. And some of the things that Mr. Bryan Majors does is he helps people stay focused, remain humble, and keep working.
Keep working.
And the biggest thing that I love about that is remain humble. Because I can tell you the most humble guest we've had on this show is now going to be the quarterback at Navy.
True.
Yeah. Irby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Alex.
Yeah.
Irvin.
Yeah, he's the most
Great young
humble
man. Great young man.
child. I mean, he's 18. That's a kid. He's the most humble kid that I've ever met, ever. And I feel like, and we're going to get into your book, Training for Triumph, which is an amazing book which I wanted to talk to you about. We talked a little bit about it before the show even started, about how I feel like this is a book, even though you should be reading this at all ages, like this should start at a very young age.
Facts. 100%.
Facts. So, and you and I both have done a ton of public speaking, and my public speaking started basically the same time yours did, which would have been, you're starting at this high school level, at this older level. But now the stuff that we're trying to get to, it's got to start at a younger level.
It's younger age for sure.
And
It's a must.
and I don't know if that's a big difference between just the way things are today as opposed to the way things maybe were 20 years ago, but it's different. So anyway, Bryan Majors, Major Prep.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about Major Prep?
Oh, Major Prep is, first off, thanks for having me, you guys. I
Yeah, of
appreciate
course.
that.
Thanks
Of
for
course.
coming on,
Thanks
man.
for sharing you guys' platform with me. I really, really appreciate it. I'll never take that for granted.
Yeah.
But Major Prep, man, it's 12 years running right now. A company that's
Congratulations.
Yeah,
appreciate
that's
that.
huge.
Yeah.
That's a
12 years
dozen.
straight.
Yeah.
12 years straight. It was it really formed because I had a dream of it. And one of my coworkers, when I worked at the Boys and Girls Club in Harrisburg as a unit director, he kind of like told me I had to quit being a director. And he said, man, your vision, your dream is too big to be
Wow.
only in one place, using this only club as your platform. He said, yo, you got to go and grow. And ever since that day, he told me that I've been literally a 12-year straight entrepreneur. But it's been formed around exactly that, is helping people prepare mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually to accomplish their lifelong dreams and their goals, overcoming adversity along the way, and build their own self-confidence.
And aspiring leaders.
And inspiring leaders, for sure.
And like to me, when I'm looking at this book and which I have to read, I will admit, the things that like stick out to me is the fact that like I said, when we were talking earlier, everybody that watches the show knows my story, that I'm pushing 16 years sober. I share my story
Congrats.
all the time. I wear my sobriety on my sleeve.
Yeah.
I wear my mental illness, mental health on my sleeve. If I'm struggling, I'm not afraid to mention it on Facebook. I don't pretend
Yeah.
everything's all freaking, roses out there, because
Right.
it's not.
Yeah.
Is it?
No.
Nope. And pretending
Nope.
to do that. And I was actually listening to a book this morning on dopamines, and it was talking about how the fact that the social media and that we just post that everything is just so good out there. And even if you do that for yourself, where you're posting that everything's perfect in your life, that's actually bad for you. Like for me to be able to say, listen, I had a bad day. I'm struggling. 2 days ago, so I had this seizure a month ago, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Dealing with a lot of issues with that, a lot of things that I have to deal with MRIs and a lot of medications and things that I'm on. But 2 days ago was probably one of the worst mental health days that I've had
Wow.
in many, many, many years. Like I was so down. Like, and I don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
And all you can do is just ask for help,
That's it.
you know?
Yeah.
And
That's what I think people go wrong at. They forget they don't have the confidence to ask.
Yeah.
and how do you do it? Like what was for you? Like you're young, 36, 20s, 30s, 40s. You know, that's what we got sitting at this table right now.
Yeah.
So we have basically 2 generations sitting here, you know. For you, what was it like for you to ask for help? And like what was some of the things that you had to ask for help for in your life throughout?
Wow, great question. For me, it was a little reversed. I was the youngest of 4 African American men at this point who now have high school diplomas, bachelor degrees, master degrees, and I always say I got a PhD in common sense.
Amen.
Right?
Yeah.
So I say that because by being the youngest, I was always able to literally use my vision to see like the path and see what others were doing, and then be able to also see, okay, that wasn't a good thing. That was a good thing. Along the way, I just always was used to asking questions. My brothers, my friends, my mom, my dad, my family members, my mentors. I just always was like immune. Teachers in class, I was always just immune to asking questions. And then that just never left me. So I didn't really make a lot of mistakes growing up because I saw so many other people make mistakes or do things, quote unquote, not the right way. And I saw the consequences and I saw the rewards from good decisions and consequences from the bad ones. And I just wanted to do what I saw you got a good reward from. Or make
Yeah.
decisions where you got good rewards. And then I just always, again, just ask questions.
Can I say? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you grew up in Harrisburg, right?
In the city of Harrisburg, PA, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
And what's the age differences of you and your siblings?
We're all 2 years apart, pretty much.
Okay, because so your oldest is 6 years older than you,
Yes.
basically. Yes.
No. 4.
2. Oh, 4. Okay. Oh, there's 4 of you.
4 of us.
Oh, 4 of us. Okay. So my sister and I and my brother, we're all a year apart. So there's 2 years
Okay.
between the 3 of us. The eldest, my brother Ira, good kid. My sister, a year older. We weren't good kids. So like we were learning dumb together, if that makes sense. I never thought of it like that, but we were learning dumb together. So like I didn't really have that,
Yeah.
like someone to really look up to, because we were the complete opposite of my brother. If I would have looked up to my brother, I probably would have, things may have steered on different paths.
Right.
But I think that's really important. Like for you to be able to, especially at a young age, say, listen, wow, that didn't work. How did you do that? Like I watch these kids in these videos. I saw one the other day where an older brother came in, his little brother was in bed, probably about 8 years old, and he got his first D1 offer.
Yeah.
And his brother wakes up.
And
Did you see this
shows his
video?
brother. Yeah, that was wild. Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
8-year-old brother or 6-year-old brother, and that kid's
Went
face.
crazy.
Like he gets to look up to that kid.
Yeah.
So, and what's one other thing, and I think a lot of parents agree with this, is like my dad's advice to me as a kid was, you are who you hang out with.
Yep.
And what do you think of that? Like, how was that for you growing up?
I used to tell my youth kids that all the time is you are exactly who you hang out with. And it's just a conscious choice every day to, look around and like you said, to like, who do I want to grasp onto and
Yeah.
who do I want to be like, because that's what turns you into a leader or a follower, right? Is if
100%.
you follow along with, the people that are acting up and acting crazy, right? You're going to be the 10th one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Can you tell us a little bit about like what it was like for you growing up in Harrisburg?
For me, it was a little bit of everything. We had the opportunity to literally 2 blocks away. We were deep in Harrisburg.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we were like just in that, like a perfect block, 2 blocks away from too much craziness, but just enough
Sure.
to gain that like book smart and street smart
street smart.
savvy.
Sure.
And that took us a long way. But also, like, I was blessed to have a mother and a father my whole life until me and my brothers were all over 21 years old. A mother who was big on education, a father who was big on manhood and leadership.
That's great.
And with our whole combination of that and our whole family upbringing, like, we were exposed to literally everything just so we could see what's what. And we can have learning lessons about this is what happens when you do this.
Yeah.
This is what happens if you do this.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be. But the upbringing of it was, our family was really focused around God, family, education, and sports.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How big of a role, because I know this is a big factor when, I mean, I see this on talk shows and videos and all sorts of stuff, the whole family unit for you, how big of a factor was that for who you are today?
100%. 100%. 100%. Even, not even just for myself, my own brothers, but our friends. Like, our home used to be the home where people could also come and be safe and get good meals and know the parts of speech and know the Lord's Prayer and know how many alphabets is in the alphabet, how many letters are in the alphabet, and all the critical nuances of being a young man and trying to overcome stereotypes and adversities of being in the inner city, of not visually seeing too many hands-on role models wanting to accomplish dreams that you may have ourselves. But our home, our upbringing, our mother and fatherhood, household that we had, our security that we had was a huge 100,000%. That's the reason why I've been able to become who I am today, and along with some of my friends who are able to just continue to mature and grow as well.
And I bring that up. I don't mean to keep talking so much, Zach.
No,
But
you're good.
I bring that up because, like, my parents divorced when I was like 13. My mom worked a lot. My dad was an over-the-road truck driver. And my parents did the best they could with what they could, but it was a split family. And my sister and I kind of just wowed out.
Yeah.
And I think that played a big role in who we were, who we are today. Now everything's great. My sister's 5.5 years sober.
Nice.
Yesterday was, I won't get any details, but yesterday was the biggest day of my sister's life.
Wow.
Most stressful
Congrats
day.
to her.
Most stressful day I can honestly say in my entire life, I think I had the most stressful day of my life yesterday.
Wow.
Sounds crazy.
It was, and my sister had a big win in life yesterday.
Crazy
but-
how life works.
Yeah.
Man, it was, and when they say like the weights instantly lifted,
Yeah.
and in a place you can't celebrate either, because in the place we were sitting, you are not allowed to show emotion.
Mm.
But that being said, like, I think it's so important to have a family, because after school I would go to the Burdicks or the Lowers. They would feed me dinner.
Yeah.
They'd feed me snacks. And this was to no fault of my mom. She's working full time as a waitress. My dad's an over the road truck driver. Like, there's no blame. It is what it is. This is how life was. But for me, it made a difference on who I became. And I'm never going to point a finger and say I became this because of you. 'Cause it's not.
Right.
These were my own decisions. But ultimately, like, the fact that you got to grow up in that household and to bring friends in there and show them, hey, even if you don't have this at home, this is what it really can look like.
Yeah.
Because not only is it going to it doesn't just make your life better, but it makes the way you treat your significant other, your kids. It shows them what love is, because then you can go pass that on. And he's been able to do that.
Nice.
Like with his family. Tell a little bit about how your family life was growing up. Like,
Yeah.
you had that.
Yeah, well, I always tell people that I was the second generation of Christians in my family.
Nice.
Basically, I attribute a lot of my success to my dad, because he was the one who ended up breaking, I guess you could say, a lot of the family curses
Yeah. Yeah.
of things that had happened that were not great in our family line. And my dad was the first one to make a change, and he went to Bible college and all kinds of stuff,
Love
became
that.
a pastor and stuff. So I attribute a lot of my success to the leaps and bounds that he made in his life, for sure.
Love that.
Yeah.
Fatherhood's a big thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I have a 1-year-old myself now. So now I'm kind of looking
Wow.
at him and thinking
Yeah.
of like, how can I, set him up to be even
Yeah.
way better than me, so.
Well, he's doing that because he put the rim at like 8 inches, so he's making the kid think he's real good
We do have a
already.
little tight tube
Yeah.
in the living room already.
He had him dunking already. He's like,
I
yeah,
love
you're
that.
the best
Let's
ever.
go.
Well, speaking of that too, you were really big into basketball as well, right?
Yeah, Susquehanna, right?
Yeah. So we went to
Tell us about that.
Harrisburg High School, 3-year varsity basketball player, 2-year starter. Never lost a home game
Hey,
in my
that's
career.
Yeah.
Ended up able to get an academic scholarship to Susquehanna
Well,
University.
Division 3, so that's the way it
D3.
works. Yeah. Which is
And,
it's an athletic scholarship.
It really was. And then 4 years started there, played the most minutes in school history, broke
crazy.
almost every record as a point guard in steals, assists in the career season and a game. Had a phenomenal time. From there, had the dreams and goals of going overseas or pro, and didn't happen, but continued to get my master's degree in Penn State Harrisburg, where I was also a grad assistant coach and assistant to the athletic director, Rashawn Carlton, who's still a mentor to me to this day. And then 3 years afterwards, I ended up playing for the Harlem Globetrotters as a Washington General.
I remember seeing that.
that's so crazy.
Yeah, my mentor,
Which is so
Chris
cool.
Franklin.
By the way, I use an ABA basketball at home.
Okay.
So it's that red, white, and blue one.
Yep,
I
yep,
literally
yep.
bought one just because I
Yep.
thought it was the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the ball I want to use. 'Cause I
Yeah.
just put in a new hoop, and I'm
Yep.
like, I love it because it reminds me of that.
Yeah, man. My mentor, Chris Franklin, has been with the Globetrotters over 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
and he made it happen. He gave me the opportunity to present myself to the organization.
Well, that was
Did
gonna
it
be my
in a
next
phenomenal
question.
way,
Is
yeah.
how do you even like link up with the Globetrotters? I don't imagine they're
It's
putting
one of
out
those
like applications on
it's one
LinkedIn.
of those things where you have to kind of like know somebody.
Yeah.
You kind of almost have to know somebody to be able to go present yourself. Like nobody can force you to be on the team, but they can help get you an opportunity to showcase your talents and your personality, your character, and then if you're you're good.
Do those players interchange teams? Like with the Washington General?
It depends
Like,
at times.
yeah.
It depends. Some people are able to elevate their skill, their ability to.
You ever can people get demoted? No, I'm
Yeah,
just kidding. It's like delegated. It's like delegated in soccer. It's like, hey, you were a Harlem Globetrotter, but we're gonna make you down.
They're like, hey, look, unfortunately, you're losing tonight.
Phenomenal experience, though. Phenomenal.
That's amazing.
Phenomenal. Got to
And how
travel
long
the
were you
world.
with them?
I was 2 years.
That's
I was
amazing.
2 years, and I was in the mix of finishing up my book. So I was on tour, up on the road, writing,
Man.
editing the whole time, before games, after games, and then once my book dropped, it was like boom, and then I had to make a choice:
Mm-hmm.
of either continue to go on tour with the Globetrotters, impact people's lives, or bet on myself 100% all over again, and
Like you made a good
be on
bet.
the hook tour, be on my book tour, and then
Yeah.
like a year and a half after, COVID hit.
Yeah.
So it was like God's timing for real. For me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One other thing I read about your time at Susquehanna University was that you were the first African American male to earn an elementary education degree. Is that true?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's
Big
wild,
deal,
man.
Yeah. When I heard that from my professor, who was over the elementary ed department,
Mhm.
I was blown away.
It's like
I was blown
it's surprising in two ways. Like one, that you were the first, because like that seems like it would have happened 50, 100 years ago
Yeah.
by now, right? And then two, like I can't even imagine from your perspective getting the news that that's actually true. I mean,
Like, how was it? Like,
that's wild.
when you told your parents, obviously,
Yeah.
what did they say? Like, what did your dad say at the time?
I mean, my dad wasn't even alive at the time.
Oh, he did pass at that
passed
time.
away
Okay, I
going
wasn't sure. I'm
into
sorry.
The summer 2008. So I was going into my junior year.
Mm.
So he wasn't
At college.
at college.
Yeah, sorry. I'm
Um,
sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, that's no problem. That was the worst and best day of my life when he died.
Mhm.
We'll get into that
Yep.
a little bit
Yeah,
later.
for
But
sure.
it was a phenomenal MJ Fair. Excuse me. MJ Fair, one of my favorite professors, if not my favorite professor, and still mentor in my life today. I mean, believed in me 100%, and she was also over the elementary education department. So when she gave me that news, I was blown away, man. My mom was super ecstatic,
Yeah, that's
and yeah, just this moment of history. So it was history on the court, off the court.
Is that
It was
in
a
here?
Great choice. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
That's
it was just a
I'm
great
excited
choice
to read
about
this.
Susquehanna University. Yeah, that book I poured my all into it. Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, and people want authenticity. Like they do. Like when I share my story, when I talk to kids, when I do my public speaking, the same thing you do. Like I'm authentic and I don't sugarcoat
It's
it
real.
because the kids want to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They read through people better than adults do. They'll read right through somebody that's not being authentic.
Mhm.
Teenagers
that.
will tell you. I remember as a youth pastor, I know teenagers.
Yeah, they
will
tell you.
all the
They also
time.
tell me about my eye being lazy, which I don't like, but
Yeah,
it's
they have-
not lazy,
they
it's
have the-
blind. And I'm like, guys, they're like, what's wrong with your eye? I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
So when I coach basketball, I'm always like, first day of practice, I'm like, okay, listen, kids,
Yeah.
I know you're already
Listen,
looking.
Yeah.
This one's blind. Just look at this one.
Yeah.
Let's save embarrassments.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm just
I
kidding.
loved it.
So can we
Go ahead.
can we go back to what you were saying about your dad? Because
Yeah.
I'd love to hear that story.
Yeah, so my dad, man, he was again, man, he was my superhero.
Name?
dad.
What's his name?
Gary Bryan Majors,
Okay.
my superhero. I mean, he could do no wrong in my eyes. That was just our relationship. I was his youngest, his last son,
Yeah.
and literally, to me, right, wrong, or indifferent, that's my dad. He's right.
Yeah, exactly.
His word was golden, and I mean, he just made sure that our whole family dynamic was solid and strong. He built this major tough, as we call it, and we were confident, strong young men who took pride in education, took pride in having great character, and took great pride in being competitors. And man, when this passed away, May 9th, 2008, again, worst and best day of my life.
By the way, guys, if you're enjoying this episode of the Good Hustle Podcast, please go ahead, leave a like, subscribe on the YouTube, and also we are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts now. So if you want to listen without the video part, you can do that.
Yep. And if you're looking for any real estate needs, whether you're buying, selling, or investing, please contact Zach or myself. Our numbers are below. Back to the podcast.
I say it was the worst day because I lost my hero, but the best day because that's what really solidified me as a man.
That's 16 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And I haven't had a bad day since. I told him I was going to make him proud every single day, the rest of my life. And I've been being a man of my word like he taught me.
And when you say I told him I was going to make him proud every day, I watch your Facebook and you talk about him all the time.
Yeah.
You see that, Dad? Did you see that, Dad? Like, I see your posts.
Yeah.
And every time I'm like, yeah. Like I saw the one where you just had posted something, I don't know, yesterday, a day before, something like that. And it was basically just bragging to your dad about what's going on, and not in a bad way.
Yeah.
Not in a bad brag, but like, hey, Dad, I told you.
Mm-hmm.
I told you I would do this. Look what's happening right now. And every time I read stuff like that, man, is that inspiring.
I appreciate that. Yes.
Yeah.
Like my dad is, again, my superhero. My mom is like my superwoman.
Mm-hmm.
So them combined, it was also not even just making him proud, but making sure that his leading lady never wanted for nothing ever again. So seeing her smile every day gives me chills. I'm getting chills right now talking about him.
That's
And
awesome, man.
man, it's just having a purpose that's way bigger than just me, way bigger than money, and living out my life, just making him proud. It helps me
Yeah.
keep focused, humble, and working. So it means a lot for me.
Yeah, I think there's something about us boys too, that there's always this drive to like make dad proud.
Yeah.
Behind
Yeah,
almost
yeah,
every
yeah,
decision
yeah.
you make, or like, oh my gosh, am I gonna, shame my family for the decisions that I'm making and stuff. So I and part of it is the God thing too, right? Like
Yeah.
he's looking down and he's like, and he's watching to see like, all right, what's Bryan gonna do next, right? So I think that's so cool, man. Like, and that's how I think of it too. Is like I want my dad to be proud of the stuff that I'm doing, and so
Right.
hopefully, my son Emery will want to make me proud someday.
Yeah.
And that cycle continues, right?
But that's a big part of the book, though, is that it's really a book about manhood, fatherhood, family, faith, but also overcoming adversity. And I hit it from a couple different points where it's, if you are a father and you didn't have this type of upbringing, it may adjust your own mentality of being a father. If you have a son and you read this, it's going to help you get some motivation and help you find your purpose to be able to make your family proud.
Yeah.
If you are a father who hasn't been a part of your child's life, this may help inspire you to want to become a part of your child's life so that things can get worked out and get on the right track so that we're not spreading generational curses, but being generational blessings.
Yeah.
Amen.
And I can tell you, when you guys speak about your dads, like in my active addiction, the looks my dad gave me, and I've said this on the show
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
the shame
Yeah.
in his face,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that. Now, he gets annoyed at me because I have major, I'm an idiot. I get it. Like,
It's okay.
I
It's
get
the
it.
hole in
It
your brain.
happens.
It's
Like,
okay.
it's the hole in
We
my
all-
head.
yeah,
But, like, I
yeah.
get it. Like, he'll look at me and be like, dude, what the heck is wrong? But he doesn't have shame.
Right.
And that look, and I want to talk about his questions, like, or the next question is like, wow, I really made it. And I'll tell you this, I gave a speech. I was like 5 years sober. I was 5 years sober, and I was nominated for Harrisburg Man of the Year, and we talked about this too. But
Nice.
it has nothing to do with me. It's about raising money for
Okay.
the LLS. But I do this speech in front of 500 people, and my dad's face. That's when I knew. Right
Wow.
there, that's when I knew that, wow, I really did something here. When was that for you?
Wait. So like one of those wow moments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the wow, I really
like
made it.
I'm
moment.
really doing it.
Yeah.
Man,
Tough one. Too many.
too many. Like
Good problem to
I
have.
take everything's
Yeah.
a big deal to
Mhm.
me. Everything's a big deal because I just know how, like, you can be here 1 minute and then go on the next. So literally, when my dad had to have heart surgery, he said, "B, I'm going to be there for you."
Mm.
At 21, I didn't really know at that moment he meant spiritually versus physically.
Yeah, yeah.
So that made me like understand everything's a big deal. Every win's a big deal. Every lesson's a big deal. Every blessing's a really, really big deal for me. So literally every single sale
Mm.
over the last 12 years is a big deal. Every new client for my basketball training company is a big deal. Every speaking engagement is a big deal. Like, it's all a big deal for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally every single day I get to wake up is a big deal for me.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I just know that you can literally be here, tell your youngest son, I'm going to be here for you, and then you'll never hear that person's voice physically again. I'll never be able to go to the Gardenia house at 6 a.m. with my dad again.
Mm.
I'll never be able to have him outside helping me make 20 free throws in a row in our front yard, in our driveway. I'll never be able to have that again. So that moment, like, really, I guess that was my wow moment.
Mhm.
Dad, I made it. You passed away. I made it.
Right.
I'm here now.
And
I'm here.
what I'm hearing from you too is like and I've heard this from a lot of entrepreneurs on our show is there's a sense of like awareness that like every decision I make and every moment that I'm on this earth, I have to be doing my best, right? And I
Yeah.
have to be trying to make an impact. I have to be trying to, change the family tree and do the best thing for my family. And like there's this I don't know, like a sense of urgency or a sense of empowerment you give yourself that says like I have the power to change things around me and to do
Yeah.
better for my family. And I can hear that in you. And I've heard that from a ton of people we've had on our show of just like, there's I don't know, there's an awareness of like what all this could mean
Yeah.
if I take it and I try my best with it. Right.
Fact.
Can you kind of tell us a little bit about the origin story behind Major Prep and how all of this kind of started for you?
Man, yeah. So it was pretty much that. It was after graduating my master's degree from Penn State, Harrisburg.
Now, time out. I have 3 associates. I tried to get them to turn it into a master's. They said
Okay.
no. I just want to let you know that.
That's not how it works, Sean.
Yeah, it's not-
I'm still arguing
It's
with
a
Penn
good try,
State.
though.
It's only
Listen.
we're working on year 18 right now.
Yeah,
We're going
yeah.
to try to get through this. Anyway, keep going. Sorry about that.
Oh, good. Come on, Penn State, make that happen.
I
Yeah,
know,
come on.
come
We
on.
are. Let's go. I
Wait,
bleed blue and white. Let's go.
Right.
Make it happen. Stay strong, baby. We are. But yeah. So shortly after, a couple of days after my master's degree, I was thinking about how to make my dad proud, how to, like, what's next for me, almost to an extent. What's next? That sometimes I think students think that once you graduate, you about to just walk into a big job, and that wasn't what it was. And I just also realized, like, I'm up 3, 4 in the morning, looking myself in the mirror. What's next for me? I start telling myself in the mirror, yo, I'm major. Some tears start rolling down because I'm like still uncertain of what's going to be next for me.
Right.
I'm talking about, man, I'm prepared for whatever. Dad, you're going, but you prepared me for this. So I'm like, Major Prep.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, Dad, you said you put in the work, you get the results. So I'm like, okay, Major Prep. Major work equals major results. I'm like, oh, I got something. I said, you know what? I understand because, Dad, you taught me you got to prepare mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually to accomplish your lifelong dreams and your goals.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I got something. Major prep. You got to put in major work for major results. And I'm going to teach you how to mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually prepare to accomplish your life dreams and your goals. I'm like, it's on. I yelled to my brother across the hall, bro, I got a major prep, bro. We're going to give people the flyest gear. We're going to teach them how to be the best athletes and build their character.
I love your website, by the way.
I appreciate that.
I literally bought one shirt specifically because it's Jawan trains me, and Jawan was wearing it. And I was like,
my
"Yeah,"
guy,
I wore it.
man.
He's like, "Hey, I know that shirt." I said, "You're on a
Man,
website with it." He goes, "I
special.
didn't know that."
Special shout out to Jawan, man. That's my brother
Shout out
for
to
life.
Jawan.
And the thing about the similarities between you two is that he's starting something. Now it's different, it's training, but it also has like youth in mind.
Yeah.
And let's get these kids doing something like major prep, staying focused, be inspired, prepare mentally, physically. Like Jawan has something going too. Now he's 2-3 years in,
Mm-hmm.
but he's doing something too. And to watch how this is working for both of you and, you know, like working together.
Yeah.
Like it's not a duel against each other. Like, why are we not trying to promote each other? We are. Like, he's literally on your website.
You literally. People ask who should I send my son or child to? Jawan Chisholm, Lance Dean, Keith Cowan.
Yeah.
But these are all like, this is just how they say the apple don't fall far from the tree or far from the tree to an extent at times. And those guys, the Jawans, the Lance, the Keith Cowans, like these guys are my little brothers. Where they were in college, we were working out together, and I'm the older brother, putting them through vigorous workouts.
Yeah.
And just helping them build their stamina and their endurance and their mental toughness. So now to see these guys as Jawan, who he is, as a former pro, as a top trainer in our area, who's a top motivator in our area.
Shredded out of his mind.
Shredded out of his mind.
Oh my gosh.
Taking his body to what it was, to where it is now.
So we train with him, my fiance now. We walk out the first day and she goes, "You see how wide his shoulders is?"
Yeah,
I was like,
he's jacked.
I said, "Yeah, he looks more like a defensive back, not a running back." And I told Jawan that. He's like, "You stupid."
Yeah.
I'm like, I know.
He's
right,
the best, man.
I do want to say I have a fan question.
Okay.
So I've actually known about your company well before I even knew you were
Wow.
actually a person. I just thought it was a clothing thing because of friends of mine that work with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
me too.
Yeah. So like, you know, the Berkheimers.
Yes, I love the Berkheimers.
So Craig and Tammy are two of my best friends.
Wow.
So do you know Joey Lauer too? I don't know if his son trains with you at all, little Joey Lauer. But I know Noah does.
Noah.
You see how big Noah is right now?
Noah's
Noah's like 6 foot tall.
I love Noah.
He has to be a lineman in middle school football now because he's too big
Really?
to play any other position. But he's overweight. He's not allowed to run the ball, throw the ball, catch
That's
the ball.
crazy.
Dude, he is a freaking giant.
He's
He's a giant. So Craig and I were really very, very close friends growing up. Tammy and I graduated together. We were actually Prince and Princess of the 7th grade dance up here.
Okay.
Up here to middle school.
Okay.
But anyway, so then Adam Yo.
Yeah.
Sarah Yo. So Adam has some questions. I texted him last night because he is a huge fan of you.
That's my guy.
Huge fan. And he's a great basketball coach. And he does a lot for kids. So he had 2 questions. So let me read these real quick.
I love it.
And while we're sitting here waiting for this too, I think I first heard of you from actually Brian Dean, the owner of John's
Dean.
on Fire.
Yeah.
because he was talking about, oh, you guys have to have Brian on. And I was
Wow.
like, who's Brian? He's like, Major Prep. I was like, oh yeah, I've seen Major Prep around like in random places. I think it might have been from Jawan and other places too. And then like immediately after, I saw Stephanie had you on her podcast here. And I was
He
like,
was
oh,
jealous.
what the heck is going on?
He's like, what happened? I was like, we had to postpone. He's
Yeah,
like,
I was like, I was just about to DM him.
He
and
called-
like, try to make something happen. And
Wow.
so small world. Yeah.
yep, which is
Love
good.
Brian
That
Jones
means
on fire.
you're getting out there.
Yeah. Shout out to John's on Fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's, yes. And Olivia Jones and everybody over
Olivia
there.
Jones,
Mike
that's my
Lynn.
little sister. She's
Yeah.
amazing.
She invited me to her. I can't even get over it. All right.
She's
So
so
actually, the reason I got these Asics on my feet is Olivia said to myself and Michael McCavitt, she's like, hey, would us 3 get matching shoes tonight? And I was like, yeah, they're so comfortable. But everyone's like, you look like a gym teacher. I was like, I don't care.
She's going to freaking Harvard
Yeah,
Harvard.
that's
to
insane.
play basketball.
Harvard.
Yeah.
I went to Princeton. I got a hot dog and left, but I was there.
Yo.
Anyway.
Shout out Princeton.
Actually, I got.
Shout
What's
out
that?
Princeton,
Oh, I
shout
did
out
go.
Harvard.
I did actually go
Olivia
to
Jones.
to
Yes.
Cornell to the gift shop, and I bought a what is this? What when you used to go to school there? What's it called? The word
Oh, like a
alumni. I bought an
letterman?
alumni sweatshirt
Oh, okay.
for Cornell.
You know what would be dope, I think?
I didn't
Now,
go
You know
there.
what? It'll be, now that you say that, you should go to all of the top schools' websites and just get an alumni shirt.
Yeah, for
I'm like,
every
for
single
every
Ivy
single
League
one.
school.
And just wear them different days.
Yeah.
Am I?
I think it'll could be phenomenal for you.
I'm doing
That's
it.
how you can combine your degrees.
I'm,
right
done.
there.
I'm like, here we go. You're not
phenomenal
going to
for
give
you.
it to me. I'll just wear them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, I'm
you go.
doing it. I got one down already.
yeah.
All right. So Adam Yo, questions. He's got two. What is one thing a kid in sports can do to work on keeping a positive attitude when in tough situations?
Ooh, the preparation, the work before.
Mm.
By you working hard in school and on your studies, transitions to working hard in your workout,
Mm-hmm.
to transitions to an easier moment in a game. So the prior preparation that you do at home with your chores, when you're studying for classes, for test homework, when you're working out with practice, a trainer, a coach, whatever the case may be, those are all the situations that prepare you for a tough situation in the game that makes the game easier, that makes the moments of being able to forget about a
An
turnover.
interception, a turnover. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's the major preparation before the prize that you got to do and really focus on, where you should study as hard as you can. You should do your chores the best as you can. You should practice as hard as you can. So when the moment is there, presented to itself, you can prosper.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a
Number
major prep.
Yeah, major prep. That's amazing. And then number two, what would you say is the most commonly seen misconception that youth basketball coaches have?
That their child is going to WNBA or NBA
Mm.
or NFL or MLB.
Mhm.
That their child, their child, is the one for whatever reason.
Somebody told me you should either, if you're going to coach and your kid's on the team, they better be the best or the worst, not in
Oh,
between.
yeah, I just heard that the other day.
Because then I'll tell you what, when my dad coached me, I was not John.
Oh, you know who it was?
Who?
It was Joanna when she was on our show.
Who?
Joanna Dunstep.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
Joe Dempst. Yes, she's a great woman. You'd love her story too. Depstat. Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, she battled cancer. and
She
stuff.
battled
was-
cancer.
yeah.
She coaches
She's tough. Lacrosse.
lacrosse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She created lacrosse at West Shore Christian Academy while she was battling cancer.
Wow.
They didn't have a lacrosse team.
Yeah.
She got tons of like conference championships.
Wow.
Like she's,
Yeah, she's
an
like the
amazing
Michael
woman.
Jordan of lacrosse out here.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing. And
She
she played
is.
at Messiah. And so did her husband, but on the boys team.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
but like to me, like, yeah, exactly. So, and one of the things that I can say is a misconception is I coached middle school basketball. Middle school basketball was I like to win. Okay. Wasn't the most important thing. Let's learn the game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's learn the game. Let's learn the game. Let's make sure we're learning it correctly. Like that was a misconception. It's like if a middle school coach is going out there to coach to just win championships, I don't think you're doing it the right way.
Right.
It's middle school. That's what I'm talking about for high school. Like I remember coaching kids and being like, yeah, that kid's going to play today. Well, he's not the best kid on the team. I don't care. It's middle school.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't playing in high school ever. This is his last chances he's ever going to play in sports. So the misconception of that, it's all about winning, especially at those lower levels and travel
Yeah.
sports. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say next was at first it's like I feel like a lot of coaches at that age feels like their child is going to be the one, which they really might be. But I think that's always tough. That's one of the toughest misconceptions I feel like. But then second is exactly that though, as winning is everything.
It's not.
It's the character building, it's the preparation, it's the work ethic, it's the IQ, it's the knowledge of the game, and you preparing them for their next level. And then winning comes along with winning happens to the team that's most prepared. From the first player to the last player. That's
Yeah.
when the winning happens.
Because O Rose, after the event at John's on Fire when she announced that she was going to Harvard. I coached her first year of basketball ever.
Wow.
So this is like first grade.
So you basically made her the
Yeah,
Yeah,
superstar.
you made her. Yeah, you're the one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. So actually, I get. I think I'm getting a doctorate from Harvard, but it's just on
for free. Yeah.
But her dad came up to me, and St. Teresa's has a really great basketball program.
Okay.
They do.
I heard
And
a lot
they have
about
some
that.
really great. They had a coach there for years. He's now retired, but he came up to me, and he said, "You taught her to have fun.
Yeah.
He taught her how to play. Mind you, this is first grade. You're not going to teach a kid how to play basketball in first grade. They're not going to learn the game in first grade. But over the next 6-7 years, she learned how to play the game to major prep for high school to get to where she's at. Like, and to be, when he said that to me, I was like floored.
Yeah, there's levels. There's levels in their seasons and to development and growth. And when they say it takes a village to raise a child, like that's really important.
Yeah. I think obviously you're going to continue to grow. You keep picking up new accounts too, which I watch. I watch everything you do. Like I
Appreciate
love it.
that.
Like it's fun to see. Like and
It is.
I got a new one. We got this. And I was actually late to you had a pop-up sale in Harrisburg about a month ago. I was about an hour late. I was trying to get there that day because I was going to come buy stuff. So I ended up buying stuff online, which by the way, I wore to the beach, that sweatshirt.
Love it.
Oh man, it's so comfortable.
Let's go.
It's so comfortable. And I love the color. But, you know, I'll finish with my last question. Then Zach's got one more. But
Sure.
I've done a ton of public speaking,
Mhm.
and I speak to youth. You've done hundreds. One, what does it make you feel like every time somebody asks, hey, will you do this? And two, how easy is it for you to say yes? Because I don't know how to say no, because I feel like every time I'm asked, that's just God saying, it's not even being asked. It's God saying, hey, you got to go there.
I usually say yes. For exactly that reason though. It's bigger than me and that one student, teacher, principal, whoever it may be at that place may just need to hear that message that I have to give them a little bit of extra hope and motivation and courage that they can do anything they put their mind to. So if I'm available, I'm usually saying yes.
Yeah, and there's been times where I've not been 100% available, and that has happened. But if I'm available, I don't know how to turn it down.
If it has to be like a situation where I'm like completely uncomfortable with for me to really say no.
Yeah.
Sure.
But if I'm available, I mean, I do this full time for a living. So like, this is my daily work. This is my life work. So I'm usually saying yes. If I'm available and I'm free, I'm usually saying yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, John, if you want to hold up the book for the cam over here. So 2018, you wrote this book, Training for Triumph, right? And this will be a little bit of a two-parter. One, can you just give us like a synopsis of what you'll learn in the book? And then two, what kind of advice do you have for young people who look up to you out there, who say like, you know, I want to be the next Bryan Majors. I want to put in the work and the preparation, right? And become, you know, the next great entrepreneur around here. What kind of advice do you have for them?
Man, so I'm gonna answer that as a one-parter because it really all coincides with this answer here.
Sure.
The book teaches how to mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually accomplish your life dreams and your goals. But along with the accomplishment of it, it focuses, has emphasis on overcoming adversity that's going to happen. It's going to comes along with identifying distractions that are going to happen and come a part of your life. It's going to let you know about the highs and lows that are guaranteed in your life. And most importantly, it's going to help a child be able to create their life blueprint and create a 20-year goal plan for their life. That I don't know if any, usually when I ask students, do you have a 20-year goal plan right now?
I'm working on
They're
this
like,
month.
No.
They're like,
And I'm 44.
Right.
They're like, but I had 20 Mountain Dews in the last week.
Right. And it just goes to like, it sounds crazy,
Yeah.
but it sounds crazy until it's like done or you actually working it. So
Right.
I created my life plan 12 years ago. I wish I did it in high school. I'd probably be a little bit even further now.
Sure,
But
sure.
in 12 years ago, I created a 20-year life plan. And I'm 12 years into it right now.
It's amazing.
So a child who hasn't read it, a child who wants to be better than B Mage, tap into this book. A parent who wants your child to really have the ideology, the morals, values, and characteristics that you pray for your child to have, but as mom, as dad, as uncle, your voice starts to go in this area and out the other.
Sure.
This message is going to give that same message. So this book, 2018 going on now, 10,000 books sold almost. We had down to 800. I believe 34 books left to 10,000 books sold. If I were going over a few years, all from the muscle.
Yeah.
But it's been inspiring lives all over. I get messages every other day about how the book helps somebody's child or help them stay focused themselves, or this is the blueprint.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, with this one, the thing that I think is really, really neat is I think it should be read by kids, like 6th grade, 7th grade.
It's the perfect age group for it.
Family goals.
Family goals.
Like, listen, this is the page I automatically turned it to, and then I clicked past it, so I went back to it. Like, to me, that's amazing. So this is my copy, not yours, people. I also bought a bunch of clothing. So we're just gonna real quick. We're gonna end the show, but I just want to show off some of the stuff that I bought. So I got 2 hats. He brought 4 in. I'm buying these 2 here. This will be my new workout hat right here. I think Zach might be buying these 2.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna take those with me.
Zach's gonna buy these. And look at all the stuff I got. I got sweatpants because I needed new clothing. Right, Taylor?
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I needed new clothes.
Yeah, preparation.
Taylor's not gonna let you take this stuff home.
No, I'm taking it home. Yeah, I got this almost the same sweatshirt in a different color.
Yeah. I knew you were a polo guy.
Oh,
I
knew you were a polo guy.
And
so
actually, to be honest with you, and this style is booming.
Yes.
Right now.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is.
And it
fire.
matches your hat too. If you ever wear that day.
Oh, I cannot wait. Look at all this gear.
And I just knew you were a polo guy, man.
I
This
like
one is
polos.
real special. The logo's on the left arm.
That's sick.
Dude,
So it's real low key, real minimum.
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
the logo on the back.
And I'm not a big logo guy.
Yeah.
I'm really not. Like, so I like this stuff. This is how I like it.
Yeah.
Well, the
Right
best
here.
part is you can wear those on appointments too.
I
Yeah,
know.
true.
Yeah.
I'll
wear
ask
all
you
this
different
on a
colored
that's
shirts
sick,
and
man.
So, listen, great gear, and it's quality clothing. Like, he doesn't use cheap stuff. Like, it's good gear. And in all honesty, this is just another local person doing great things for a great community.
it's a good hustle, baby.
Yeah,
It is a good
It's a
hustle.
good hustle.
You're right.
Amen.
Yeah.
All right, episode
It's a
30.
good hustle.
Let's go.
Episode 32. Let's go.
Let's go.
Tap into the Good Hustle Podcast, man. Don't ever
Thank
stop.
you.
The
Thank
Good
you.
Hustle Podcast. Tap in, subscribe, like, share. Let's go.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so
Appreciate it.
much for coming on. Man.
My pleasure.